Please to stop speeding. Mr. Tapper is countersuing for $2,250.
Ms. Miller, you are suing your neighbor, Mr. Tapper, for $2,200 for damage to your car. You, sir, are counterclaiming against her for $2,250 for the death of your dog. Tell me what happened.
I was running an errand, and I unfortunately hit his dog.
Okay. Did you two know each other?
We're neighbors.
How close do you live to each other?
Like a quarter mile away from each other.
And yet, but you knew each other?
Yes.
Okay. Is he the very next neighbor?
Yes.
Okay, because you live in a pretty rural area.
Yes.
Did you know his dog?
Yes. Yes. Right.
Why do you laugh?
Well, because this has been an ongoing problem with him. He lets his dog out all the time. He's not a responsible dog parent. I think people should have their animals and they should be responsible for them like they are for their children.
How often have you seen the dog out?
I've seen it out enough times that we've spoken about it with other neighbors.
All right, and what does the dog do?
Chases cars.
This is classic courtroom tension, folks. Vanessa's claim that Kyle's dog was irresponsible is one thing, but the real drama comes when Kyle's laying down the law about speed limits. He's insisting that Vanessa was speeding, yet we don't have concrete proof. Speeding can be hard to prove in cases like this without witnesses or traffic cameras. Kyle heard the crunch, but does that really mean Vanessa was driving fast? Let's take a second. Who do you believe is at fault here? Drop your thoughts below, because this is a real debate.
Okay, what happened on the day in question? Tell me about that day. Was it day or night?
Day. Daytime. I was going to run an errand. I pulled out of my driveway onto the road, and I, took off, and then it was like a, and I went, oh my God.
Did you see the dog before you hit it?
No, I didn't. It was like something I just,
If you had slowed down, you would have seen it.
Hold on. I'll be with you in a moment. So you stopped the car.
Yes.
And what happens?
Well, there was like a thump sound, and
we heard the sound. And then what happened?
I got out of the car and I ran out. I parked the car. I got out of the car. I went to look what had happened, and the dog was on the ground. I had run over it.
And so was the dog under your car or behind your car?
Well, by now it was behind the car.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So
what did you do?
I went to go tell him. I was the first thing. I was like, I'm sorry, Kyle, this accident happened. He was, I understand. He was just like, oh my God, he was worried, and I was worried as well. Also, the dog trashed my car, too.
Which is why you're here, for the damage to your car.
Yes.
All right, let me hear from you, Mr. Tapper. How old was the dog?
5 years, Your Honor.
And what kind of dog was it?
A black lab. Got a picture.
Let me see. What was the dog's name?
Rex.
Oh, what a beautiful dog.
Yes.
I had a black Labradoodle.
It was a kind and gentle dog, and contrary to what's being said, he did not constantly get out. He was under well control. We're caring.
He got out this day, though.
He did.
Okay, how many times has the dog gotten out? You have a leash law in your town.
We do.
Okay.
But, Your Honor, it's a rural area.
I know, but you still have the leash law.
Yes.
Okay.
But one of the reasons that we live in this area and not in the city is to give the animal some flexibility.
So what we have here is a classic case of he said, she said. Kyle's sticking to his guns, saying Vanessa is a reckless driver, but there's no real evidence to back that up. No speed radar, no witnesses, and no footage, just hearsay. And Vanessa? She's sticking to her story about the dog running free. But this is a legal game of chess where facts are crucial. The judge isn't swayed by emotions. This is about who broke the law and who's liable. What do you think, though? Is the blame on Vanessa's driving, or is it Kyle's failure to secure his dog properly?
Well, some flexibility. We've got.
But you still have. See, when you say we, unless you run for city council and pass a different ordinance, you have a leash law.
I understand.
Which means you can't have your dog running in the street because there's still traffic.
I get it.
In this area, and it's not.
I understand that. We have an area in the backyard that is fenced in. And that's where he is most of the time.
How did he get out?
He jumped the fence, which he normally doesn't do. He's learned how to do that, and he ran out into the street. Neighbors know this. They know that there's animals and kids in the area.
Well, but no kid was hurt. It was a dog that was hurt that was running loose that shouldn't have been. So
I understand that, but
when neighbors know this, they know what? That your dog gets out?
No, they know that when you're on this street in front of our homes that you drive slow. And we have had constant problems with Vanessa in terms of her driving way too fast on the street. People come up from the city and they think that this area is like where they were, and it's not.
Is there a speed limit on it? On
40 miles an hour.
How many?
40.
That's pretty fast.
It is, but
for a residential area.
But if everyone would just do that, it would be.
So how fast was she going when she hit your dog?
Your Honor, I don't have any idea other than to sense that it was much faster.
Why do you sense that?
Because I heard the crunch of Rex being ran over.
How did you hear that? Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. It was
well, you did laugh. Go ahead.
I was in the house and heard it.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
You cannot blast down the road like it's a race. Why didn't you answer that one? Well, you didn't answer the first one, so
yeah, I just was trying.
I'm still prone to come to the conclusion that you're just rude.
And later,
it was supposed to be something special, however, it did not end up that way.
Because what happened?
This is where the emotional stakes get real. Imagine losing your dog, a family member, and then being forced to deal with the fallout of a car accident as well. It's a tough situation for Kyle, but he's trying to make his case that Vanessa's careless driving led to his dog's death. But is it fair to blame her for the dog being in the street? Legally speaking, a pet in the street is the owner's responsibility. The pet owner's supposed to keep their animal contained, and Kyle didn't do that. How far do you think the law should go in these situations? Can we really blame a driver for a loose animal?
We're back with the case of Vanessa Miller, who blames Kyle Tapper for damage to her vehicle.
There are no cameras in the area that would tell you, oh, Judge, look at this or anything?
There is not, but you can, Your Honor, when you're in your home and you hear cars going by your house, you can get a sense whether they're going fast or slow. And my sense that she was going fast, as she had multiple times.
But she didn't go past your house, because she had to brake
driving in front
by your house. So you didn't get a sense of how fast she went by your house because she slammed the brakes.
I understand, Your Honor.
Right, okay.
I've sent her texts multiple times.
Let me see that.
To ask her to slow down.
Because...
And she's ignored them.
And she doesn't answer any of them? Vanessa, you need to... March 8th, Vanessa, you need to slow down. You're driving too fast down this road. This isn't some big city highway. Why didn't you answer him on March 8th?
To be honest, Your Honor, those texts have become more of a nuisance because I'm not...
Why didn't you answer him on March 8th when your neighbor asked you that? Because a normal thing is to say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm going fast, but what makes you think that? And, you know, that's the normal thing rather than ghosting someone.
You're right.
And then on May 20th, there are children living around here. There are deer roaming. You cannot blast down the road like it's a race. Why didn't you answer that one? Get a stock car if you want to race. Well, that might be why she didn't answer that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you didn't answer the first one, so
yeah. I just was trying.
I'm still prone to come to the conclusion that you're just rude. July 3rd, slow down. You drive too dang fast all the time. You city folk, you city folk need to learn patience.
There it is, another nail in Vanessa's defense. The judge doesn't hold back in pointing out that when your dog gets out and causes an accident, it's not on the driver. The law is clear. A vehicle has every right to be on the road. Pets, on the other hand, don't. There's a harsh reality here for pet owners. If your animal is running free and causing damage, the responsibility falls on you. Kyle didn't secure his dog, and that's why he's losing this case. What do you think? Should he have been more careful with his pets?
You didn't answer that one either. When did the accident happen?
A week after that.
Why didn't you answer the July 3rd one?
I don't know. I was just trying to avoid him.
Okay, then you killed his dog.
I didn't purposely kill his dog.
Well,
it was an
I'm
accident.
assuming, I'm giving you that much credit, that you didn't purpose, because you find things funny that I don't find funny.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you did not purposely try to murder his dog, okay? But it's what ended up happening, you know, and your $2,250 is what? The medical bills and cremation costs for the dog?
That's correct.
And it's her fault because She was going too fast?
She's going too fast,
but
wasn't
you
paying
don't
attention.
know how fast she was going. We have no evidence. Were you speeding?
No, I wasn't.
Watch this. Were you speeding? No. All right. So, are there any witnesses who say she was speeding?
No.
And there's no camera work that says no cameras that.
No.
Right.
Just on looking at the damage of the car.
How are you going to look at damage and tell how fast someone was going?
Well,
I can't even do that. I've been in this business, forever. And I can't do that. How could you do that?
Well, I can do it by logic and reasoning.
No, but your logic and reasoning does not make you an accident reconstruction expert that can tell me how fast she was going.
It doesn't,
You
Your
can't
Honor.
just look at an accident and say, therefore the person was speeding, especially when the speed limit is 40.
Well,
so,
I've concluded that she wasn't aware of what was going around her area and that she didn't see the dog.
but the dog's not supposed to be in the street.
I understand
you see,
that.
You know who's supposed to be in the street? The car that's going 40.
I understand.
That car that's going 40 has a right to be in the street. An animal does not have the right to be in the street. And even though you live in a rural area, and I understand that, you still have to abide by the law.
Frankly, Your Honor, I've never been in a courtroom before. The reason I am here today, I was willing to let bygones be bygones. It was an accident until I got sued for
Right.
the murder weapon that killed my animal. And
Right.
So that's why I'm here.
No, I understand that. And you're really not going to like what comes out of my mouth next.
What a bombshell. The judge just dropped the hammer with a ruling that no one expected. Kyle is held accountable for not keeping his dog under control, and Vanessa's in the clear. She's getting her $20,200 for the car damages, while Kyle's left to handle the emotional cost of losing his dog and the financial burden of the ruling. But is this fair? Do you think Kyle deserved to pay for something he didn't directly cause? Share your thoughts. This one's a real tough call.
Because legally she's correct. If your animal is in a place where your animal doesn't have a right to be, it's your animal that caused the accident, or whoever let your animal out, whoever didn't build a tall enough fence once you learned that the dog could jump the fence. You're not abiding by the law. Your animal has to be contained. Your animal cannot be chasing cars or running in the street. She is entitled to drive in the street, and she's entitled to drive at a pretty high speed for, a residential area. And it's just the way it is. And at 40 miles an hour, there's going to be damage to the car. And there are no witnesses saying that she's also violating the law. If there were witnesses saying she was speeding, and then I would look at this and see, if it's contributory negligence, and each of you pay a portion of it. But I don't even get there because there are no witnesses that say she was speeding. You can't say that from the inside of your house based on what you heard before you heard the crunch. I mean, it's not going to happen. But she, however, is entitled, and I presume that you didn't have full insurance on your car, and that's why we're here. So now she's out because your pet got loose, and she wants you to pay her. And it turns out that she's right legally. And, and I feel terrible because I know how bad you feel and how much you lost, and compared to what she lost. And if I was your neighbor in a million years, I wouldn't sue you. But she can, and my job is not to judge people. Well, it is. My job is to judge, but not people. My job is to judge cases. And I am bound by the law, and my hands are tied by the law, which means that you have to pay her damages, which is $2,200, and she does not have to pay you for your loss of the dog. And I'm very sorry about that, but that's the way it is.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $2,200.
I'm really sorry this happened. I hope we can learn from this.
It's heartbreaking to not only lose our pet, but have to pay for the car that killed him.
Coming up.
He didn't say that he had been using manure the entire time for his garden. I didn't find that out until later.
Does that have something to do with it?
If I may, absolutely.
You may answer my question. Does it?
Absolutely not.
But wait, did anyone catch how the tensions kept building throughout this case? From the speeding accusations to the failure to address serious concerns, both sides had some skeletons in their closets. At the end of the day, it was Kyle's failure to secure his dog that really sealed his fate. This isn't just a legal lesson. It's an emotional one, too. How many of us have let our pets roam free? Can you see how something like this could happen to anyone? Let us know in the comments.
Client refused to pay up. Justin Walker says he and his guests got food poisoning, which cost him a book deal, so he's not paying a dime.
Ms. Kent, you're suing Mr. Walker for $650 in chef services he refuses to pay. What happened?
I was contracted by the defendant to private chef one of his events. He's a friend of one of my friends.
You've been doing this for how long?
I have been doing this for 2 years, Your Honor.
All right. What kind of event was this?
I was having a book dinner event. I just came out with a book, and I invited a publisher over. It was supposed to be something special, something exciting. However, it did not end up that way.
Okay, because what happened?
Food poisoning. Come to find out that it was E. coli. Not only did I get sick, but the publisher gotten sick, and my other colleagues. So I have not heard back from them, and I'm sure.
I imagine if they really liked your book, they would just want to make money off of your book. You think that they're holding it against you, that they got food poisoning?
I mean, come on, manure in the garden? That's a whole other layer to this drama. But honestly, it's Kyle's failure to manage his dog that led to all this. And Vanessa? Well, let's just say she should have probably answered her neighbor's texts instead of letting things fester. Sometimes it's the small things that lead to big consequences, right?
Honestly, yes, ma'am. My book is detailed around health and wellness, intuitiveness. It talks a little bit about in-home gardening. So I'm assuming that if I am writing a book and putting something out there as far as healthy living, healthy eating, and then consequently we all get sick, I'm sure they wouldn't want to be a part of that.
Did everyone get sick from your garden? Did you use items in his garden in the meal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Coming up.
That's not how I would inspect them. I would take them from the root. And
so by the time you came, he had picked everything from the garden. What did you use for fertilizer?
Manure.
You're watching Emmy-nominated Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with the case of Amaya Kent, who brought Justin Walker to court for refusing to pay for her chef services.
How do you find out about this?
Mr. Walker called me. He let me know that he was sick and that everyone that ate the food got sick, and that apparently it was E. coli poisoning. That's what
he knew?
That's what they told him.
How did you know that?
I went to urgent care, and they told me that it was in fact food poisoning, E. coli.
Like, he says it's your fault, so he shouldn't have to pay you. You say it's not my fault, so you should pay me. Why is it not your fault?
These were items from his garden that he has eaten from. I cleaned these items as I normally would. Unfortunately, I was not able to pick these items myself, so I was not able to see that there was E. coli poisoning.
How would you see it if you had picked the? Do you mean pick the vegetables yourself?
Yes.
Right. How would you see E. coli when you're picking a vegetable?
So I actually went to school for horticulture, so I study like the soil, the plants, and I know like certain items that would be in the soil, certain items that would be on the roots. So if I were to pick them myself, see the roots, see the type of soil, then I would have known that.
Well, you wouldn't see the roots. How are you going to see the roots? You'd have to dig up the plant to see the roots.
Yes, he cut them. That's not how I would inspect them. I would take them from the root. And
so by the time you came, he had picked everything from the garden. What did you use for fertilizer?
Manure.
And
might that have something to do with it?
Yes, ma'am. I did not know that. When he told me about his garden that he had been eating from, he didn't say that he had been using manure the entire time for his garden. I didn't find that out until later.
Does that have something to do with it?
Absolutely.
Your Honor,
does it have something to do with it?
If I may, absolutely.
You may answer my question. Does it?
Absolutely not.
You think it has nothing to do with it?
No, I've eaten from our garden using the same soil for the last 3 years.
Well, then, what do you suppose she did?
Judge Milian's verdict when Justice for the People returns.
If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. We'll see you in the next one, where the drama never stops and the verdicts are always just as unpredictable. Stay tuned.